let's move on to the GOAT. My GOAT, the greatest of all time, the first scoring leader to change his game in a fashion where he was adjusting to the circumstances around him. The GOAT. The man who was player coach, but still was a coachable player. The man who had respect for the game. The man who loved basketball so much. We didn't see him getting up at 4, 5 o'clock in the morning, conditioning himself, getting up shots, barely taking a break, not drinking or partying or doing these other things. Taking his game, his natural born abilities to the next level of play with the will to win. And not only did he push himself to this, he brought along a team with him. Now, you can definitely make the argument that Michael Jordan never won without Scottie Pippen. This is not what we're talking about right now. We're talking about Jordan being better than LeBron. And we can go list for list on and on, but I'll tell you, because it goes back to my initial stance. It's what you value as a judgment of player, character, if you're a coach, whatever. Michael Jordan's mentality of confidence, knowing what he was going to do to you before he stepped on the court, and actually executing this, and there was nothing people could do about it for years. For years. Okay? The year that we won in 1991, remember, the 2 years before that, we had those great battles with the Detroit Pistons, and we couldn't really get out of the Eastern Conference Finals. What did Michael Jordan do in this situation? He didn't go to the commissioner and say, hey, these guys are being too physical with me. We need to change the rules of the game. Or run into the referees. Hey, you gonna let them do this to me? I'm Michael Jordan. You need to blow more whistles. Or start flopping and doing all these other different things to try to get the officials' attention. No, most of these highlights that you're seeing playing behind me is Michael Jordan adjusting to the physicality of his generational play. They got to the point where so much where he was avoiding contact because he knew that that was the style of basketball for his era. He adjusted to his era. Pause. LeBron James did not do this in that fashion. Let's go back to when I gave him his flowers about that first the first 7-year run he did, and he didn't win. I believe it was like 7 or 8 years he gave to Cleveland. He gave his blood, sweat, and tears. I respect you for that, brother. But when you took your jersey off after the Celtics eliminated you and you walked down that hallway and everybody knew that you wasn't coming back because you felt like you couldn't win with the same team, brother, that knocked you down a notch. Mentally, for me. We're going to start there. Michael Jordan did not say, I need to go and build a super team someplace else because he was getting his ass whooped physically by the Detroit Pistons. We also could make the argument that if Mother Nature didn't give Scottie Pippen a migraine in the Eastern Conference Finals, it would be a discussion about 7 championship runs for the Chicago Bulls. People forget about that. Now, I don't want to jump around too much, but Isaiah Thomas, I respect that brother. He said, look, man, y'all can say that Michael was the greatest of all time or whatever, but I got him. I beat him, I beat Bird, I beat all of them. I got Magic too. Michael didn't do all of that. That's a different discussion. I respect Isaiah Thomas for that. But we're talking about Michael Jordan. We're talking about Michael Jordan's, show me a pair of LeBron James shoes that's being worn on everybody's feet. Don't worry, I'll wait. Show me a commercial where you know word from word from LeBron James. Oh, you ain't got one. Sometimes I dream That here's me. Yeah, I used to sit by the TV and just wait for that Gatorade commercial to come on for Michael Jordan. Okay? What else I got? So Jordan adjusted with the physicality. He 2 times back-to-back, 2 times he won, he did a three-peat. Okay? And not once did Michael go crying to general management, which I got a whole nother something to say about the Jerrys. Okay? He never went and cried to the management about changing the team. Things that he had no control over, he didn't even want to have control over. The only thing he could do was try to motivate Bill Cartwright and Brad Sellers and these other guys into coming along with him and developing a championship team with the horses that he had with him. LeBron James had to go places. He left his team. And not only would he leave, the man would try and clean house. He would try to clean house and by the trade deadline, thinking that would help them win a championship. The last time I seen a blockbuster trade go down, I want to say it's when Rasheed Wallace got traded to the Detroit Pistons and they won the same year. Look at those odds. You have to go way down in history. I know the fact checkers are going to be in the comments. But at the end of the day, when you're talking about the first to ever do it, and someone who went through adversity as Michael Jordan did, it's all about what's up here and your approach to the game. There is no other player that I can respect other than their approach, other than Michael Jordan. And Kobe mimicked that because he knew. We don't get Michael Jordan without Dr. J. Okay? We don't get Kobe Bryant without Michael Jordan. We don't get LeBron James without Michael Jordan. We don't get Vince Carter. We don't get Allen Iverson. We don't get Tracy McGrady if there was no Michael Jordan. How soon they forget. It's not about choosing who's the greatest of all time. Remember, it's preference. It's about what you value as a person, as a coach, whatever. I got to keep saying that because people have selective memory. So, Jordan, LeBron. Let's just talk about this era of basketball in the first place, okay? You play against who is the best at that time. Michael Jordan, you cannot take away from his championship saying, oh, he didn't play anybody. He the Seattle Supersonics. Oh, he beat Gary Payton and Sean Kemp and all those guys. Like they weren't worthy of being in the finals. Like those names aren't Hall of Famers. Before there was a top 75, there was a top 50 greatest all the time, and those names were on it. Charles Barkley included. Clyde Drexler included. Karl Malone included. I ain't trying to hear it. You play against who's in your era. I'll say this, since you want to sit up there and say, well, LeBron is playing against guys that are better skilled, athletic, all these different things. I understand that too. But guess what? In 30 years, if they have 30 LeBrons out there that's better, are you going to say the same thing about his era? Oh, LeBron wasn't playing against nobody. Them dudes, we taking off from the three-point line now. What you talking about, the half court or free throw line? Like, it makes no sense, people. No sense at all. All right, I was a lot to say. I'm gonna take a quick break, and I'll be right back.